Hey, James, how you doing, man?
I'm good, Logan. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. Hopefully, you can see I've got one of these pictures up that you sent me, and I've kind of looked through several of them. I just have this one up right now. I was just hoping maybe I could see how you're hoping I can help you today.
Sure. Um, I have this. This is we're looking to get an addition put on the side of this house. We currently this room right here is our bedroom,
Okay.
and we're looking to expand the bedroom and make it more of a master bed bath suite off the side of this.
Okay.
So I guess extend out the size of this so we don't have to cut into the home, but actually just add on to it, and probably double the size of the room that's already there and turn that into a little bit more of the bedroom, but then also the bathroom.
Okay. All right. Um, I can appreciate it. Sorry, I was actually taking some notes here just to make sure I get it all. Logan, you said something. You said something a couple of times actually. You said we and our. Would you mind telling me who we is?
We is myself and my wife. So that
Awesome.
is my we and on my
Yeah,
our.
no, that's good. That's cool. And what's her name, Logan?
Her name is Audrey.
Audrey, Audrey.
Yep.
Awesome. Thanks for that. Um, Safe to assume that your wife's pretty interested in what this master bedroom comes out like.
Yeah, she's definitely gonna be wanting to help as far as like whatever the design is. I mean, at this
Okay.
point, my job is just to start to get estimates for what something like this is gonna cost. We're not quite ready to pull the trigger just yet. Like, we're in the midst of this pandemic, so I'm just trying to figure
Right.
out who would be a good fit for this. Maybe get a couple people to come out and give a quote and just kind of go from there.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. So I'm just kind of curious, like, let's say the pandemic wasn't a thing, Logan. What's your time frame on this thing? What would be your preference be?
Ideally
Working
sooner than
wise.
later. I don't know how long something like this takes, but
Hmm.
we're not on a super big time crunch because it's not the end of the world if we don't get it done today, but hopefully in the next few months, that would be pretty
Okay.
cool.
Yeah. No, that I mean it's totally doable. And what's interesting, I mean, I understand what you're talking about with the pandemic, but with these additions, like we can do 70% of this before we ever actually even break into the house, right? So we can actually do a lot of this that doesn't impact the inside of your home at all. So just telling you that, like, I'm not pushing you. I want to make sure that, you and Audrey are comfortable with us there, but it is possible to get started if it works for you and it works for our schedule and everything lines up. It is possible to get started, sooner rather than later potentially. Would that be helpful for you?
Yeah, I mean, that's good to know. Definitely. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Cool. So, Logan, if you don't mind, describe to me a little bit, what you're thinking this thing looks like. I mean, you mentioned master suite. What does that include for you?
So a master suite is really going to be our bedroom, which we already have there. Extend like a larger walk-in closet for the both of us that will most likely share, but just like a really
Okay.
big one, maybe like my stuff on one side and her stuff on the other. And
Sure.
then we'll just have a bathroom right off of it with, I'm hoping to get a freestanding tub, a rain shower next to it,
Did
dual
you say
sink.
rain shower?
Yeah,
Sorry,
rain
I
shower.
interrupted. Okay.
Yeah. Rain shower, dual sinks, and just I guess a bathroom that we can both get ready in the morning together with.
Sure. Do you guys tend to get up at the same time and you're
Yeah,
both getting
it's a
ready at
bit
the
of a
same
fight
time?
right now, to be honest.
You sharing a sink or just smaller space or what?
Well, right now we have we have like dual sinks, but it's like a pretty small, like the vanity is small, so
Oh, okay.
yeah, so it's still a battle.
So it sounds like maybe you need some elbow room.
A little bit elbow room would definitely be helpful.
Yeah. Do you mind taking a minute and just kind of describe to me what that morning ritual looks like a little bit? Like, I guess in my head, I'm picturing you sort of having to squeeze past each other. That's actually what my wife and I have to do because we've got kind of a narrow space there, and I'd love for it to be wider. I'm not trying to put words in your mouth. I'm just kind of curious, like, do you have something similar to that going on at your home?
Yeah, so we both get up and we go to the gym in the morning, and then we both get back generally around 6:45.
Okay.
And at that point, it's, one person has to make breakfast while the other one showers and gets ready. Then we switch because we can't both be in the
Gotcha.
the bathroom at the same time, realistically. So that's kind of, we're both morning people, so at least we're not like battling emotions in the morning. But
Right. Sounds like a bit of an frustration at the very least.
yeah, I mean, it's not great. We've been managing for a couple years now with it, so we just kind of figured, we've been sitting home, we're stuck in this quarantine, we're looking around the house of stuff that we've wanted to do for a while, and now we're just kind of getting sick of playing that elbow game, if you will.
Yeah. So I'm kind of hearing that it's the quarantine sort of brought this to a head. I guess I'm just trying to figure out, like, like what prompted it now. You said you've been kind of dealing with it for a couple of years, and is it quarantine, or is it something else that sort of prompted that?
I mean, it's always kind of been, it's been like the back of our minds.
Okay.
And then now that we're stuck in this scenario, we're like, yeah, this sucks. So it's just at that point where, because we're having to deal with it so much, that it's becoming something that we want to finally just get it over with, get it done.
Right. Yeah, no, I can understand that completely. Okay, and we haven't really discussed it, and I don't recall seeing it in your description that you sent with the pictures and stuff, but do you have like like room sizes in mind, or an overall size in mind for what we're doing here, dimensions or square footage or something along those lines?
I'm not the best guess at this. My guess would be I don't know, maybe like between the bedroom and the bathroom, kind of like 500 or 600 square feet, maybe. Does that sound reasonable? Is that too big, too little?
You know how I like to do this, Logan, especially when somebody, like yourself, they're like, I'm not really sure, and that's totally cool, is kind of compare it to the size of a 2-car garage, right? So like a standard 2-car garage, if you're familiar with that space, and granted, most of the time they're square, but the overall square footage, they tend to range between 400 and 500 square feet. Is that, if you can sort of envision a king size bed and a shower and those other things in there? Do what?
It's kind of small, isn't it?
On the small side of that, on the 400, it kind of is, yes. Once you go 5, maybe 5 to 6, it starts to, you get kind of room for. We just did one recently that was about 600, and they had plenty of room for their king size bed, had a good walk-in closet. In fact, we put an in-ground tornado shelter in that was accessed through their closet, an underground one, and really nice big bedroom. But then the room also had some space for like a sitting area, so they like had a TV and a couch and some cool stuff. So I don't know exactly what you and Audrey are hoping for, but that's
how big was that one?
That one was right around 600. It was, I want to say it was like 580 or something. It was right around 600.
So I guess we'd probably be at that level. 600
Okay.
would be the dream, but it all kind of comes down to, what this stuff costs. Because I don't, obviously if money was no object, we would just, move out of this house. But it is.
Right.
So.
Yeah, no, I understand. If we speak for a couple more minutes here and get a little more information, I could probably start sharing with you what something like this might cost, what your investment might be. Would that be cool?
Yeah, works for me.
Okay. So, you mentioned rain shower, and you mentioned a freestanding tub, those kinds of things. Have you and Audrey like looked at, for instance, do one of you have a Pinterest board or something where you have some of those things that you have, sort of dream about, right? And have aesthetics that you're looking for. Does that make sense?
Yeah, she has the Pinterest stuff. I don't do much of it,
Okay.
but I kind of know what she's looking for. So, I mean, she definitely has stuff in her head of what she wants.
Okay, cool. Okay, and I mean, are you envisioning this rain shower like, glass walls, big open, or is it more just a standard shower, but you really want the rain shower? When you say rain shower, I'm thinking overhead. Are we talking the same language?
Yeah. Overhead, where it's coming down. Like I like the glass wall. Like it's like the two glass.
Uh-huh.
It's like connected to the wall, like it's in the corner of the bathroom, but it's like the
Gotcha.
two glass panes connect.
Perfect. Yeah, it's got a really roomy feel to it. It looks visually, it's very open, right? So
Exactly.
okay, cool. Have you considered a size on that? For the dimensions of that shower, as a reference point, Logan, a standard like main bathtub shower, one piece kind of thing that's in a lot of homes is about 2'8" by about 5 foot.
That sounds good.
Okay. So the dual glass walls. What's that freestanding tub look like, Logan?
Just honestly, it's like a normal, like the old school looking ones, like they used to have back in like the Titanic. We like that kind of look and that style.
Okay.
So just one of those, like when you walk in the bedroom, or the bathroom, it's kind of like in the back, but it's like the focal point when you first get in.
Gotcha. And is it up off of the floor with the cloth feet kind of thing, or is it one of those modern ones? Okay. Since those have become a much more popular option, there's the styles just go everywhere. In fact, we just put in a copper one not too long ago that was really cool. I wouldn't want it in my home, but it was an awesome copper tub. Yeah, it was pretty sweet. Okay, so 500 or 600. I'm just looking back through my notes here real quick, make sure we're not missing anything. Okay, well, if it's okay, let me recap what I've got here, and then we'll make sure I haven't missed anything. We can kind of talk about some money. Cool.
Cool, let's do it.
Awesome. So you're wanting to do a master bedroom addition. Sorry, I'm going to be looking down because I'm looking at the But master bedroom, you mentioned, a walk-in closet and a good-sized bathroom. More than anything else, you really want to not have to fight each other in the morning in order to, get yourselves ready. You want a freestanding tub. We just talked about that, kind of like the clawfoot style. And then an overhead rain shower with the dual glass walls that, is nice and big and open. You mentioned, kind of standard tub shower size. Of course, I'll need to check with Audrey on that too, I would guess, to make sure that we're all good there. We were talking about somewhere around 600 square feet overall for the entire, master suite added onto the back of your house here, or the side of the house, sorry. And then really the overall, I actually have it in quotes. This sucks. You want me to fix this sucks about your house? Yes.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Did I miss anything?
I don't think so.
Okay. So, like I mentioned, we just did this. Some real similarities to what you're talking about that you and Audrey would like to do, about the same size. And that client invested right at $128,000 with me for that.
And you know all that just based off of I guess you just did it, the project.
We did. Yeah, we just finished it up a few months ago. It's a pretty popular thing to do,
And that was right, that 600 square feet?
Yeah, I think they were about 580 is where I think they came in. I'd have to pull the records back up to verify that 100%, but it was about that. And we did some other things around the house, and they did a few super nice things. Like some of it was kind of magazine worthy, at that $128,000, but it was right in there. Sorry, I kind of got on a tangent there for a minute, Logan. I mean, how does that overall sound to you at 128? I mean, does that feel like a good number, or too much, or too little?
Well, I can assure you it's not too little. It's pretty high though. I mean, we really didn't know what this was going to cost. Sure. 128 is definitely that would be a down the road project if that's what it comes out to be.
Yeah. So I mean, so I mean, it feels like you'd like for me to figure out a way to get the number down a little bit for you.
Yeah, I mean, if you're able to, yeah, I mean, I'd like something a little bit more, I guess, affordable. You know,
Sure.
we don't really have a set number, but like 128 is just it's way up there.
Sure. So, you know, if we changed a few things, maybe shrink the space a little bit, we wouldn't have to shrink it a whole lot. But if we drop down to say 550, right, and just maybe didn't make that seating area a second living room size, and kind of did some things in there, and you know, didn't go just top of the line with everything, but had those few of those really nice touches you're talking about, we could get down into about the $106,000 range. And I mean, if we just kind of went bare bones, I'll give you an example. Like the dual glass wall that you're talking about, I mean, they're incredible, but that glass is, you know, 8 to 10 grand on its own. And so, if you guys were flexible in how we did a few of those things, and maybe we do 3 walls just with a big glass door versus the 2 glass or something, right? And I want you guys to get what you want, but you know, that's where we are. And you know, Logan, I hope I don't tick you off here, but I can tell you where you can do a master suite like what you're discussing here, I can't get it a penny under $85,000, and that's to go bare bones with it.
Okay. Okay. So could you, all right, well, I mean, I guess if that's your price, that's your price. Can you send over a proposal? Maybe then that way I could show it to her just to kind of have a frame of reference so she kind of understands what this stuff costs?
Well, now we're having kind of a different conversation. Because what we just did, we're talking estimate, and I'm totally cool doing that. But if you want, when I hear proposal, Logan, what I'm thinking is, you know, this big breakdown. Like I'll give you, for instance, my proposals will run about 15 pages long. There's a lot of work involved in making sure we get all that. Also, at that point, like to get an actual proposal, I need to actually spend time with you and with Audrey, either in person after this passes, or you know, in this type of a setting, to where I have a much better idea of the fit and finish, the parts and pieces that you want, to get you an accurate proposal. I mean, really at that point, Logan, we're talking consultation. I do charge a consultation fee for that. It rolls into the project if you choose to use Valiant for your addition. I don't know. What do you think? What should we do?
Yeah, well, if that's the case, then I'm okay with just holding off. Then, you know, kind of reassessing if this is really what we want, and going from there. I mean, it all sounds good. I just think right now, like if that's the price to get all this stuff done, like we just don't have the money for it.
Yeah, and you know what? I can appreciate that. Is it cool if I send you guys some stuff that can help you with some future planning, and you know, just kind of keep in touch with you, and we send out some tips and stuff ever so often, and some stuff just to you know, like tips. Let's say you want to paint your living room or something, right? Sometimes we send, hey, here's some step-by-step ways to do that, so you can figure out some cool stuff. And
Sure.
we try to be relevant, you know?
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, okay. Well, I appreciate it. Was there anything else we need to talk about today, Logan?
I don't think so. I think we're good. Okay. James, I really appreciate it.
Thanks for your time, man. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, thanks. Bye-bye.
So Audrey actually walked, she's
I saw her, she walked behind me.
Yeah, she's like hearing her name, like, what? We're doing a sales role play.
Yeah.
I was like, what are you getting at this? Not talked to you about this yet.
Yeah, it's
sounded very real.
Yeah, that was very well done. There's a couple of things. The biggest thing that I would say, everything felt smooth. You probably know it, but you're very verbose with certain things.
I am.
So just shut it down a little faster.
Yeah.
And last but not least, the big thing is when we're going through what I want and what we're talking about, you mentioned Pinterest. Pull it up. Pull up the Pinterest. Start showing me, because I got confused when you're like, hey, what size shower do you want? I'm like, bath fitter size. I don't know.